You are in one of the most insane energetic upgrades that I think that you've ever experienced. And I think that when you're hearing that, you could even just be like, I'm so tired right now. I don't even have the energy to do what I love. Like, that's what it feels, is that your energy feels like it's being pulled inward in a way that it hasn't before. I'm getting like, you've resisted this. You've resisted this level of connection to yourself, to spirit. There's something about like your resistance is being met with your higher self at this time. And I think that the way that I mean that is that there's no denying the fact that you've been avoiding showing up for yourself in a way that genuinely like nourishes your soul. I think that you've been in a long cycle of almost survival, like just kind of doing things just to do them, or doing them just to, because you have to. Like, it just feels like you put this pressure on yourself that I have to do this even if it's burning me out, even if I don't even have the energy to show up for myself. So there's something about you're being like rerouted right now. And I think that you might have been on this massive like uphill climb, it feels. And it almost feels like you're being like, it feels like you're being pulled back down, but you're really not. I feel like you're being pulled back to reflect on like, where were you actually going with this? Like, I feel like, where were you actually going with this energy in hopes that you would get somewhere burnt out like this? Okay, and I'm not saying that you can't accomplish it, but there's something about like, you couldn't do that forever. There's no way that somebody can exist like that forever without it like falling back onto you. And that's what it feels like is happening right now, is this weight on top of you where it just feels like this exhaustion is at like a next level that you literally cannot avoid it anymore, because you could even be trying to show up for you want, or trying to do things, and your body is literally screaming, I don't want to, I can't. And you know what? It's like you're breaking this idea that if you stop showing up, things are going to fall apart. You're not going to get to where you want to be. And it's like you're actually starting to realize the more that you give yourself space to take care of yourself first, the more you'll actually get there quicker than if you were just pushing against your own natural rhythm. So it feels like you could even be connecting to your natural way of wanting to exist. And that could be like a life of ease, is what I feel. I don't think that you're meant for this like hardcore grind energy. You are meant to grind for what you want. Like, I'm not saying that you can't, get inspired and push and strive, but there's something about like, you never gave yourself the time of day to genuinely nourish yourself. And I think that the way that it's falling back on you, it's not necessarily like you're going backwards at all and you're not losing progress. If anything, you're just gaining more insight of how you can get there more efficiently. So this feels like a just complete reconstruction of how you see the way that you show up. Because it's not just how you show up, it's how you're viewing how you're showing up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think you saw anything wrong with what you were doing, but it didn't feel right. But now you see this isn't right and it doesn't feel right. So I need to do something different. If that means taking a break, if that means taking more naps, if that means eating differently, or doing things that allow my spirit to just not think for a minute. Because it just feels like your mind is like just this constant, I'm seeing like a hamster wheel. Like, you could be the kind of person that like clings to something and then you loop and you loop. And I'm also hearing like headaches. Like, you could give yourself headaches. You'll be giving yourself headaches with how much your mind just goes and goes and goes. And it's literally just like your body has had this breaking moment of just stop. Okay? Just stop. And that's not a bad thing. If anything, that means that you're about to like up level. I feel like the upgrade is something again that has been calling for you, but you didn't even realize you were denying it. You weren't doing this intentionally, I don't think. But now that you're aware, I just feel like the way that things are about to shift dramatically for you, it's not going to be anything like you expected it would. Do part 2. You're not expecting the way that this shift is about to change everything for you. And I know that that sounds dramatic But when I'm telling you, this shift that you've just made within the way that you see yourself and how you show up in the world, how you show up with what you're doing and striving for, if anything, you're setting yourself up for a deeper level of success right now. That's just what it feels like, is that you are somebody that you're meant to go so much farther than even you think. Okay? Like, you're the kind of person that you know you're destined for something great, for something incredible, but you don't even fully see the full picture. Okay? And that's what makes it so, like, significant, is that you don't even know. But the thing is that the way that you were striving in your past, like I said in part 1, you didn't even know genuinely, like, it's almost giving me, you didn't even have like the full set vision. You were just doing it. You were just going and going and going and going. But when I'm telling you, like, the second you decided to actually show up for yourself first, like, it feels like you're kind of being selfish with your energy. You could even be pulling back from people or focusing in on, like, not engaging in certain activities or whatever. It just feels like the energy is really being redirected back to you in a new way. You're no longer self-sabotaging your own self. And the thing is, there's like an awareness that you didn't even realize you were self-sabotaging until it got to this point. Like, you've been pushing and pushing and pushing to get to this just massive burnout. And I think that the burnout, it's not meant to be permanent, but it is meant to be here to almost be this mirror of, like, this is what you've done to yourself. And again, it's not bad. It's just sometimes we don't even realize how deeply we're pushing ourselves when we really shouldn't be, until we're met with this deep cellular level exhaustion. And I'm not just saying, like, you're tired. Like, if you know what I mean, you know that this kind of exhaustion, it's not normal. It's not normal. But I think that you're kind of in this period of just completely listening to your body now. I feel like you've ignored your body's cues for so long that they're so loud that you have no other choice but to listen right now. And I feel like this is not just about your success, like the way that you're showing up right now. This is gonna, like, ripple into every other area of your life, so that you actually have the passion, the energy, the creativity, the inspiration to pour into it from that space of overflow. You're not meant to be doing things from depletion. You're not meant to show up when you cannot even show up for yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just feels like there's a complete dismantling of that idea. And I feel like it's not even just about that. Like I said, I feel like you're being prepared for some kind of, like I said, I don't know if I said this actually, like an up level in your life where things are about to look so different, and it calls for this version of you to be so deeply in tune with yourself. Like, it just feels as if this next phase of your life, it's about to be so good that the universe doesn't want you to experience it on battery percentage 2%. You know what I mean? Like, I think that you operate on that, like, 0 to 10% battery level, like, all the time. That it became normal until you realize, like, no, I don't want to feel every day like I'm on 10% battery. You know what I mean? And it's like, then you go to sleep, you wake up at 15%. Like, that's how your energy feels, is that you just never genuinely feel like alive or like regenerated. It feels like right now you're being called to have like a deep rest. And I feel like the weather, I don't know where you guys live. I know everybody lives all over the place, but coming into like the fall season, it feels like it's almost right at the right time. Like, genuinely, like you're being forced into a cocoon. It feels like you're being forced into this cocoon-like state to really just rest. You know, when it comes fall and it gets cooler outside and you start feeling more tired, like, it's not for no reason. I feel like you're actually cycling up with like the Earth's, I don't know, atmosphere. I don't know if that's the right term. Like, you're just syncing up with your higher self right now. And your higher self has always known that you were doing too much. But it's almost like your ego, it's like, I don't care, we need to do this. Let's just get it done. And I feel like you're actually being called to operate from this higher version of yourself on a more consistent basis. That's why you're being confronted with this energy. And I feel like, how I said, You're being prepared to genuinely enjoy life, okay? You're being prepared to genuinely enjoy what the universe has to offer to you. And it's hard to when you can't even enjoy your day-to-day life, when you're just freaking tired. You know what I mean? The Empress card right here. I feel like there's something about you, just the Empress, taking care of yourself, loving yourself, letting yourself sleep, eating good, feeling good, moving more. Not to say that you have to do those things ever, but like, you know what I'm trying to say. Like, it just feels like you're really being called to put yourself first, okay? If that means you gotta put a few things on hold for a minute, like, that's not a bad thing. This era of your life calls you to be selfish with your energy. And the thing is, it's not selfish. And that's something that I think that you're actually rewriting right now, is your idea of what selfish actually means. Yeah. So I just feel like there's something about right now, you're being prepared for something that you can't even grasp right now. And you're not meant to. Literally, this exhaustion is preventing you from grasping it. So that you actually just rest. And then when you come out of that rest, you're recharged and you can just receive.